let's take a look at this week. We had quiz 2 on Monday, just handed that back. The solutions for that quiz are now posted in Moodle. So if you go into our Moodle site, down at the bottom, there's a box for quiz solutions. Quiz 1 and 2 are up there. So if you got anything wrong, you want to check out the solutions, it's there, work and everything shown, not just answers. And then also, since the schedule says we have a test tomorrow, yep, Friday, next class. Here in test prep material, sample tests and solutions, the sample test is in the packet that we've been working out of. There's sample test questions, and there is a sample test 1 video with solutions to each of those problems. So this takes you to a playlist in YouTube where each of those problems are solved in a video. So also on the schedule this week, project 2 is due today. So give me that before you leave. And homework from last week, which would be 6, 7, and 8, is due today. So some info about the test. It will focus on functions and models, limits, and derivatives. So this is everything we've covered so far. The types of functions that will be on it will be linear, polynomial, power, and rational. We reviewed all those. You need to be able to distinguish between them, work with them, write formulas for those different types of functions, and solve equations. And then for limits, you need to be able to evaluate a limit, determine whether a limit exists, and look at the end behavior of a function and explain the end behavior using limit notation. Estimate limits numerically, maybe using a table of values on your calculator. Then there's continuity. When is a function continuous and what does continuity mean? And then derivatives. You need to be able to find a derivative at a point and a derivative function numerically, graphically, and algebraically. Okay. So numerically, that might be using the difference quotient and plugging in smaller and smaller values for h. Graphically would be what? How would you find the derivative at a point graphically? Slope of the tangent line. Yeah. And you need to be able to also sketch a derivative function from a given function. And then algebraically, with the lengthy limit definition, the limit as h goes to 0 of f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. You can check your answer algebraically using a rule if you know one, but you have to show all the work using the limit definition. You need to be able to interpret first and second derivatives, including units, the sign of the derivative, and relate derivatives to graphs, second derivatives, and differentiability. So that's sort of what's going to be on it. Other things about the test, you can use a calculator. You can bring 1 page of notes, front and back. The page of notes that you make, you should save, keep it to bring to the final exam. Because the final, I think I let you bring 4, so you can bring the 3 from your previous 3 tests plus a new one. But you can't use your textbook or any other notes or resources. The test was written to be a 1-hour test, but I use a pretty relaxed time limit. If you need extra time, the next class after this one is another of my calculus classes, so you can stay a little longer if you need to. And when that class ends, I just have lunch. So you basically can take the test anytime from 8:40 to noon, or let's say 12:30. You have to be finished by, don't show up at 12:30, that's all. Give yourself at least an hour. So you can have so you can come in for a regular class, or you can come in a little bit later if you want. Let me know before the test if you have an accommodation for extra time, or you need to take it in the testing center for whatever reason. Showing all your work on the test is going to be to your benefit. The more you can clearly demonstrate your understanding, the better chances for partial credit if you make a mistake somewhere. There's no formal homework assignment for next class, just study for the test. This assignment is for the day after the test, but there's nothing collected here. It's just the standard preparation, reading, and a couple of questions to help you prepare for class, which again, I don't collect these. So, any questions about the test? What it's going to be like? The sample test questions are going to give you a real nice idea of the kinds of questions that I like to ask. So you can use that as your main study tool.